1.
Okay, we're back up and running again. So since I finished up the running record, we're just going to bounce back to the self chart of early readers. And so we have a level E, or that's our level range that we have. We're going to go over. And then we got our self monitor. So how does he monitor how his reading is? I put an M down because he consistently monitors with meaning. For example, he stops when meaning breaks and tries to fix his error. So if he'd come across one, solve words, I gave him a B, and that's consistently matches the beginning letter of the correct word. An example would be like place or pool, and I figured he gets that from his self-monitoring. Reads fluently, very good reader. Retells, not proficient, but very well in that. And with the spell, I have short vowels and digraphs. So the transitional readers, level J and P. Most second and third graders are at this level. Possible advanced kindergartens. The student I did the running records on last semester, he was a third grader and fell into this level of reading. He works on decoding fluency and retelling. My student was great at retelling and comprehension. Struggled in the accuracy part was his biggest problem. Usually good at one of the above and lacking of a different one. That was the instance with my kid. He struggled to get the accuracy, but his comprehension was very, very good. So skills that are to be achieved in the transitional stage: work on improving their weakest of accuracy, fluency, and comprehension. That's something you really got to work on. Include different stages to improve the weakest. The big thing is that they're usually good at one, so you really want to focus on the other ones and bring those all up together. And then comprehension of major events, some little more in-depth of comprehension is what we're starting to look into. Maybe less prompts than what they're normally using. Assessments used include word knowledge inventory and the reading conference. Your reading conference is your best choice. I just went over the running record, so I'm not going to go over that again. But I do have the reading conference. You're going to listen to the student read at least 100 words with the running record again. You're going to use the running record again. He's going to have an oral retelling and a comprehensive conversation. So your conversation has the ability to have prompts in it to use. Otherwise, he will retell the whole stories to you, which is really good if they can do that without the prompts, but it's usually not. And then you get the one-on-one with him, adjusting his skills so that he can learn better. Word knowledge inventory here. They're just going to have a blank sheet. They're going to have to go like short vowel here. You got the A, the initial blend of the gra. So the G and the R. Sled, you got another short vowel there. So you're going to fill this section out with a blank sheet of paper. I have John here. And we do the little assessment summary again. Self-monitors. He's all right. He's not proficient, but he's about average. Solves words, though. This is where maybe if his self-monitors was a little better, his solves words would be a little bit higher. He's not proficient, really frequently ignores word parts. That's how this is working. So his fluency is a course down, not where it needs to be. We'd like to see up in the 3 and the 4s. But that goes back to self-monitors. Maybe if that was a little bit higher, everything else would pick up. Retells, decent. And then word study. I miss he puts digraphs. That probably all blends together. So the fluent reader profile, level N and higher, very, very few errors. And if there is error, the student is fixing those errors on their own, so it works well. They're using meanings, and part of error is self-correct, so all their errors are pretty much self-corrected. Good comprehension skills. Overall, very great readers. Skills that we're going to be working on are comprehension. Very in-depth comprehension is what we're going to be looking for. Identifying main ideas and important details, making inferences. We're going to work on some summarizing, drawing conclusions. A lot of in-depth comprehension thinking is what we're going to be looking into. Different assessment used, the word knowledge inventory. That's one we're going to use. But reading conference. with comprehension interview is the best one here. This reading comprehension interview is very, very difficult, but that's why we have these fluent readers so they can use this. Here's a picture I found in the book that I wanted to use. One thing I want to show you guys though is I'm going to use the pointer here. The questions aren't prompted at all. They're like, what are you wondering about the story? So what are you wondering about the story? What questions do you have? What maybe bothered you during the story? So they're not prompted to any certain story, so they're very difficult. What are the most important events? You got to start naming off the events without having any prompt. So this works out well. In the comprehension interviews, sometimes the student will read aloud or sometimes they'll read themselves. And for the last part, we're going over the assessment summary of the fluent readers. Level O, ask and answers questions. Very good. Proficient. Q, answers and ask questions. All goes in well. Main ideas and details. Very proficient as well. Summarizes and applies vocabulary strategies. Starting to fall off a little bit here. But then we run into his analyzing relationships. There's different characters. There's a lot of characters in stories, so it might be hard for him to get every single one of them. Infers and evaluates, the text features and text structures all work out well. So overall, he's a really good reader, but he just really struggles when there's a whole bunch of different characters and a lot going on in the story that we can see from John. But this kind of wraps up my stages of development. Thank you for watching.